We're back! She got so loud. I'm John.
Oh, and I'm Michelle.
And we're expats.
And we're almost nomads.
Right.
And we're coming at you to give you guys tips and trinkets on what to expect on your travel back to Canada from a foreign country during a pandemic. Are you mouthing my words?
No, I don't think I am. I do that sometimes. I do that sometimes. I gotta watch myself. Sorry about that if I'm doing that. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
All right, so if you've done some traveling recently, you probably haven't, but if you're thinking about it, what to expect when you are leaving a foreign country coming back into Canada. So some of the things that you need the ArriveCan app. You need to download this for your Android or for your iPhone and get it on your phone before you actually leave the country coming back and get to the airport, your departure airport. You need the Switch Health app as well.
Well, it's not an app, but you have to register for Switch Health. But they give you that information on the ArriveCan app too. So it's pretty straightforward.
You need a PCR test. That's right. So if you go to a place that offers a PCR test, make sure that you find out how long it takes for them to get the results. In most cases, it takes about a day.
I'm going to show you the ArriveCan app.
There you go.
Looks like that, just so you know.
So the PCR test typically takes about a day. So if you are leaving on a Saturday, you need to get this PCR test on a Friday, and then you have 72 hours to use that PCR test to arrive back in Canada. If you have a bunch of connectors and it takes you longer than 72 hours, you need to figure it out. It's not going to be valid. Also, you can get some places that will come to your hotel or wherever you're staying to give you the PCR. Just keep in mind that will be more expensive. So I have seen PCR tests for $60 American. I have seen PCR tests for $150 American. It all depends on what you're willing to do to get your tests.
So they're not free, so remember that.
So yeah, bank on that. Now what to expect when you get to the departing airport. So our whole procedure right now with returning home with a PCR test is brand new. And the airlines that we flew with were not prepared to have all these people produce a PCR test. So our flight was delayed by 2 hours. Not anything really on their fault. They just didn't realize the amount of paperwork it was going to take to get people on the plane.
Well, and this was the first direct flight back from Cancun to Toronto. So we were on that flight.
And I'll tell you which airline it was. It was WestJet.
Yeah,
and I give them super
great.
Kudos because, listen, this is all brand new. You have to put on your patience pants.
Whoa.
Right?
Lots of patience.
The other thing is expect to get into a fight at that departing airport.
No.
Right?
I mean, expect anything.
Yeah. Well,
but there was some crabby people. I don't know how you can be crabby when you have the opportunity to travel, period, the end. We're in a pandemic. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
So you need those three things: the PCR test, the ArriveCan app, and the Switch Health registration already.
Yes.
And then leaving, when we
Cancun.
left Cancun, we got a yellow stamp, meaning we had our PCR test. So that
the PCR, and they were also wanted to make sure you had a receipt for the ArriveCan app. So
right,
it's like, they check for a lot of things.
They give you a little stamp, a yellow bingo dot at the Mexican airport or the departing airport. I don't know if all the airports are doing this. So that's the first thing. So
that's the first bingo dot.
Yeah, you want that bingo dot for sure. So now, coming into Canada, we arrived on the tarmac, and they said to us over the speaker, hey, we're sitting in the plane for another 20 minutes because customs is swamped. Again, customs, if you've seen it, you go through an area that you do your self-declaration, then you still need to see a customs officer. That has sped up the process immensely now landing in Canada. But if you recall what customs looks like, there's only so many kiosks for customs agents. And there were a lot of flights coming in. And so we had to wait on the tarmac, and then they let us off the plane, 50 people at a time. And
only 50 people.
Right, because they just don't want the bottlenecking that's going to occur. So 50 of us got off the plane, went through the little kiosk park where you put your passport in and do your self-declaration. In that area, there were testing centers for COVID. And we were looking at each other and we were like, oh my God.
We're going to be here till midnight.
We're going to be here till midnight. So we arrived in Canada around, 7:30. And we thought we were going to be at the airport till midnight because it was pretty jammed. Anyways, we got up and did that form, got up to see the custom agent. He asked us lots of very pertinent questions. He was super friendly. but he did make us aware that he also had the proof that we had both vaccines. So if
He even wanted to verify. He's like, okay, so your first shot was this, your second shot was this. We said yes,
yes,
because it showed
he will
up in
try
the
and trip-
system.
They will try and trip you up to see if you've created any false documentation. So just make sure that you have the right documentation. So if you have your PCR test that you left with from the foreign country and you have both vaccines, you get this in Canada.
Ding, ding, ding.
You get the green bingo dot.
Green means go.
And so we saw other people getting a blue bingo dot, and we only assumed that
There's one more dot.
and there's another dot. I didn't see if it was red or orange or what, but there's 3 dots that are typically associated there, and we both kind of smiled internally and at each
Because
other.
green typically means go.
Green means go,
I
we
don't
didn't
know.
know at that point what go really meant. So we were still expecting to get swabbed. So then what did we do? We left the customs area, and as they were kind of like checking our green stamp, as you actually leave that sort of customs area and get into the general public or population of the airport, again, there's another filtration line and another series of COVID test stations there in the airport area. So you get down to another custom agent, and he looks at your stamp. If you don't have the green, you are going over to get a COVID test. If you got the green, they give you the self-test kits. They said, all right, have a safe trip home. Take this test within the first 24 hours and enjoy your welcome back to Canada.
And we ran.
We grab your kits and you run because you make sure that this wasn't a mistake.
Start the car!
And you go hide, right? Because they never asked who was picking you up, how you were getting home. There is no quarantine, but they did ask on the forms that you do write down anybody that you come in contact with within
For the
first 3 days,
3 days, yeah.
until you get your test back. Got back, the next morning we woke up and we got online, and there was a very nice lady who got on the call with us, on a video conference with us, and walked us through how to self-administer the COVID test. And let me tell you, it was the nicest COVID test I've ever had, because you actually don't have to jam it up to your brain.
Yes,
It's 15 seconds per side, about 2 inches in. It obviously still doesn't feel great.
And again, this is through the Switch Health
Switch Health.
registration.
You pop it into a Purolator bag, you put it out the door, Purolator comes and picks it up, and then within 2 to 3 days you get your results back, and fingers crossed that they come back negative. We're pretty confident they're negative because we've always worn our masks, we've always sanitized even
Pretty
everywhere
diligent.
where we sat. We made sure we got both shots before we left. We've had the shots into us for 14 days upon
We're
return.
not jerks.
Right, and we know the only time I kiss her is through the mask anyways, right? So
That's funny.
that is funny.
So the whole procedure overall has been very smooth. So anybody that has complained about coming through the Canadian border system lately really has no reason to complain. If you do as you're told, everything
We'll go smooth.
Fine and smooth, and it's really not that difficult. It's really straightforward. It is what it is. These are the rules you have to follow if you want to come back into the country, so you got to do it.
Play by the rules.
Yeah.
And things will go smooth for you. So guys,
You got to be a rule follower.
if you like this content, we've just started a brand new YouTube channel called Expat Nomads. EXPAT-NOMADS. Check it out, subscribe, because we are going to pump out a bunch of videos this week. One on a resort, a review on a resort that we stayed at. One on the night I spent in a Mexican hospital, our first couple of days in Mexico.
And then about 15 other videos full of adventure.
They're coming down the pipe.
There's lots. So you hit the bell, ding, ding, ding,
And subscribe.
and you are going to be what's the word I'm looking
pleasantly
for?
entertained
Yeah.
on this journey that we are going to take together.
You'll have hours of entertainment.
I think that's it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Thanks
for your
tuning
time.
in.
Yeah.
And
Any questions, reach out to us. DM me or DM Michelle personally on
yes.
traveling. We would love to answer your questions. That's what we're here for.
And
So,
stay safe.
Stay safe.
Be smart.
Yeah.
Follow the rules.
Cheers.
Bye.